I'm Amy Thomas, and I'm the team leader for health and social care based on the Rows-on-Sea campus. Within our department, we deliver the health and social care qualifications, ranging from levels 2, 3, 4 and 5. When I say health and social care, that covers quite a broad range of establishments actually. So this could range from people that are working in residential homes, in nursing homes, small community projects with that care for individuals with learning disabilities, and also domiciliary care where people are cared for in their own homes. So it covers a broad range of establishments as well. We have a large team of health and social care assessors. Some are based over in the Rows-on-Sea campus and some over in Llangefni. We cover geographically a wide area, so we cover Anglesey, Conwy, Gwynedd and Denbighshire. So that's really good. I think from my perspective, an apprenticeship is a really good way to develop skills further within the workplace, as well as gaining much more of an understanding as to why you're working in the way that you do. So I think it's really good. Also, from my point of view, it's really good. You get a lot of learners that progress through the levels and progress career-wise through the establishments, and it's really nice. From our perspective, when you start with someone at a lower level and you see them work through and end up at a higher level, and that happens quite often within the sector. So that's really, really rewarding from every point of view, really. It's lovely to see the progression that goes through, really.
So we would, although each apprenticeship at whatever level is maybe between like 12, 18 months, that kind of thing, we usually end up building a long relationship with those learners and their employers, because they progress through the levels and we get to know them really well during that process, I guess.
Yeah, definitely. It's really nice, you know, to see individuals develop in that way. It is so nice, you know. It's an alternative way of training and developing skills, you know, an alternative to the academic route, and it's a mixture. You know, there is more, particularly in the new qualifications with health and social care, there is a lot of knowledge-based stuff in there. So it isn't an easier option. It's an option where you can use a variety of different methods of learning to be able to meet your full potential and be able to utilize all your skills to the maximum, really.
I think Claire's waving madly.
Yeah.
I've got two questions that have come in on the Coleg Llandrillo feed. The first one is from April, and April's asking, do we have any apprenticeships for mature adults?
Oh, that's a good question.
It's a brilliant question. There's another one afterwards as well. So in health and social care, and particularly, probably, as we're now just talking about. Well, let's talk about health and social care and maybe just do a quick roundup of the others, I think, because April hasn't said so.
Okay, no problem.
Okay, so we have a range of learners. You know, all of our learners basically are, there's no set age limit. The only thing with health and social care is we usually work with people that are employed in the sector already, but we don't work with people under the age of 18. So our apprenticeships range from 18, you know, and over. It's just due to the nature of the job, really. People under the age of 18 have to be supervised, but in relation to any mature students, the age range, really, you know, we have a mixture of people, a mixture of age ranges, really, with it that do the qualifications. Does that answer the question?
Yeah, and I think that's the nice thing with apprenticeships, really. It's not particularly a linear thing in terms of age. It is very inclusive, and people can join and take up an apprenticeship even if they've been working in that work area for a while, and it's maybe there's been a job change or something like that, and they just want to get those qualifications under their belt. So it's nice to know. But in most of the other routes, I think we can start an apprenticeship at 16. But it depends a little bit on the level that you're going in at. So at the lower levels, a level 2, most people could come in straight from school. I think, correct me if I'm wrong, people on the panel, but most people could come in straight after they finish their GCSEs at 16, and they could begin an apprenticeship and work through those levels up. And then when you get to maybe level 3 and above, you probably you've hit that age criteria in any case.
So yeah, I think Lainey was asking about mature adults. So sorry, it was April actually. So I guess that's a yes then. Just if we're going to be yes.
Yeah. And definitely, and to contact us on the detail at the bottom of the screen if you want to talk more specifically about individual circumstances.
We've got another question off Lainey, and she's asking, are these courses online? And if so, can they be taken up by people outside of the country?
Oh, okay. Well,
I love this question. We've not rehearsed this question, everyone.
No, that's brilliant. So we've just been through a really challenging period of lockdown, obviously, and everybody was pretty much thrown out of the college. I think it was the 23rd of March where that date has kind of seared onto my brain. And then we've had to adapt really quickly to move a lot of our delivery and our engagement with learners and our support for learners into a remote digital online platform kind of thing. Would anybody like to say specifically about the kind of things they've been doing in that area? And then I'll talk a little bit about the out of the country bit afterwards. Who would like to, as you're unmuted, Amy, would you like to say a little bit more about how you've been doing health and social care, delivering online, remote?
Of course. So, yes, like you said, Rhiannon, when it was a big kind of shock when we all had to obviously start a different and new way of working. From that, you know, there's obviously, particularly in health and social care as well, you know, they've had to continue to work long hours with the pandemic and everything else. So we've had to be really, really flexible in our approach and very sensitive to individuals. They've obviously got work commitments, their family commitments and everything else. So we've kind of had to rejig how we do everything. We've been using a lot of Zoom. We've been using a lot of Loom, recording instructions on how to do things so learners can have guides on how to access things. We have also in the process of developing our knowledge-based qualification so it can be delivered online from September. That's the core qualification, so there'll be a lot of opportunities there for a lot to be done online, but when it actually comes to the practice qualification, you know, a lot of that does have to be observed because it is a work-based qualification. But a lot of developments have been ongoing to move forward with the new normal, and a lot of resources have been developed to enable us to do so.
And I think that is that your answer, it represents all the other routes, because we've all been kind of delivering in similar ways, and we've been working with the awarding organisations to try and make sure that we are capturing the right kind of evidence that they accept. But I'm hopeful that, you know, many of the sectors we work with will begin to open up, and there will be an opportunity for us to undertake that assessment in the workplace in a controlled way. But in terms of learning outside of the country, in Wales, apprenticeships are fully funded. They're free to the learner and to the employer. There's a slightly different arrangement in place in England, where it's driven more through a levy arrangement. And if you're watching the news and stuff at the moment, there are different kind of incentives being put in place depending on which home nation you're located in. Because apprenticeships are also funded by European Social Fund funding, there are eligibility requirements in terms of checking that you are living and have the right to work in the UK and that kind of thing. But also for apprenticeships that are delivered and funded in Wales, organisations need to be, they need to, 50% or more than 50, just over 50, more than 50% of the training does need to happen in Wales. So at some point you have to undertake that training in Wales. So because we are now more in a virtual world where we're doing a lot of kind of online, there is a requirement that part of your training is undertaken within Wales if it's funded in Wales. So I think I think if you want to talk more about your individual circumstances, I would encourage. I've forgotten the name of the lady who asked that. If she gets in touch, then
it was Lainey. It was Lainey. I'll leave some
in touch. Yeah,
contact details.
That'd be brilliant.
Just while I've butted in, we've got a really we've got a nice message on the Coleg Meron Dwyfor Facebook page from a lady. I won't say the name because I might embarrass the son, but she says, my son is doing health and social care. He has been accepted onto a level 3 and now just needs to do the multi-choice exam. He's coped really well at home, studying and learning. Thank you for always being there to help him.
Oh, thank you so much. That is a lovely, lovely comment. That is, and we have been working really hard to keep in touch, to support all of our learners during this last 3 to 4 months of lockdown, because it's not been easy for anybody, and people have coped with it in different ways. So thank you. That